We are now live. So I guess we just need you to tell us more about Twisted Barrel, because obviously it's probably new for everyone else, so yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Well, started out as a Pico brewery about 16 months ago now. That's brewing on a 60-litre kit. We called ourselves out at the time because I think we were the smallest commercial brewer in the UK at that point in time. We're brewing at weekends, still working full time. We're kind of like homebrew hobbyists that stepped up to dabbling in commercial, but on such a small scale that it kind of, you can get away with tweaking little batches here and there and making changes. We went like that for about a year, didn't we? We always had a plan that we wanted to try and expand. But then our plans were kind of accelerated slightly because we found out about Fargo Village. I think Chris was on the radio when he found out.
Yeah, we did, our very first radio interview was with Coventry in Warwickshire. Went in there and just happened to hear an advert for Fargo Village on the drive in. So it was like, ooh, that kind of sounds like a perfect location, really. So fortuitous isn't the word, really.
What inspired you to get into beer? As you said, you're a hobbyist.
Yeah, we both got kits at Christmas basically at the same time. We'd been doing a podcast where we sit down and kind of talk about other breweries' beers and rate them. And so we were feeling a bit like we should probably know what we're talking about a bit more and maybe like actually have a go ourselves before we criticise other breweries. So the podcast really, that came out of a drunken conversation at the Craven Arms in Coventry.
All the best ideas, Dave.
Yeah, so Craven Arms Coventry, drunken conversation led to podcast, which led to home brewing, which led to this really. It's kind of the levels and steps you take with beer geekery, I think. And the ultimate dream obviously is to get to where we've got to now.
Yeah, so how many of you are in the team?
Myself and Chris founded the company. There's 4 other directors as well. I'm the only one that works full time, so we need quite a broad range of directors with different skills to step in and help out because it's quite a lot of work, obviously, to run a business this size. We've got a brewery assistant too, and 2 bar staff as well. So we've now got about 4 people on the payroll.
Do you want to get down to the good stuff and tell us about the beers then?
Yeah, certainly.
Why not?
Yeah, the beers. We spent the last year and a half really honing our recipes. That was kind of the point of differing them from batch to batch when we're on the small kit, was trying to find what worked. So we took all that learning into the big kit. We've got a range of 7 core beers, soon to be 8. We tend to focus on, we've got 3 types of IPA. We've got a rye IPA, which we consider to be our flagship beer. That's in amber clad. It's like a very, very hoppy beer, but the rye gives it a real nice spicy finish as well. So it complements itself really nicely, those 2 flavours do. We've got a session IPA, a new style of beer. It's just a more easy drinking IPA. That's our sine qua non. Again, light, hoppy, very much what modern drinkers love. We've got a black IPA. Confusing, looks like a stout, isn't a stout, very hoppy. We've got our pale ale, which is called Inspired, which is inspired by our love of the Inspire bar in town, which has been selling awesome beer in Coventry for so long. So there's the Inspired pale ale. We've got the Saison from Another Place, some elderflower and peppercorn Saison. That's a riff on Twin Peaks. A lot of our references come from sci-fi, TV culture, that kind of thing. In amber clad. Sorry,
yeah. Tell them where we are.
We're at Fargo Village in Coventry, which is on Park Gosford Street, and this is the Twisted Barrel Ale Taphouse and Brewery.
I like it when people ask questions as I go along. Normally they ask if I'm scouts, if they're So in terms of beers, I guess, what was your first beer you ever tried, and what are your favourite beers besides your own?
In terms of, I don't know what the first beer I ever tried was. I remember when I was maybe a bit too young, I used to go to my dad's shed and get a can of Carlin and a can of Catherine's and mix them together. So that was a great introduction to beer. I guess it was a homebrew, really, a blend. But no, my actual love of kind of real ale came from living in New Zealand because they don't really do lager there, it's all ale. So that's where I got the taste for it. And came back to the UK and it's kind of taken off in the meantime, the craft beer side of things. So in terms of a go-to beer, Brooklyn Lager. I just love a Brooklyn Lager if it's on tap or in a bottle. And then anything by Wild Beer Company I tend to go for as well, because they do some weird and wonderful beers as well.
What about you? Put you on the spot now.
First beer, I really can't remember first beer. I can't remember. First beer that got me into probably like beer and brewing and tasting proper good ale was probably Syracuse by Ruby. That would be mild, which is still a well-regarded mild if you can finally get hold of it, because it's very, 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 very difficult. As far as current go-to, I mean, I don't really have a go-to beer. I'm the kind of one that really does like to just try whatever's on the board. If I haven't heard of it, even better. Generally, if you go somewhere, I like going down to, when you go down to places like London and Liverpool and Manchester and stuff, and you can go to places and you can pick up an easy Beavertown or something like that, and you know you're going to get a good beer. You know, the onslaught of cans appearing everywhere has just made it so easy to get good beer into more places these days. Which
I guess in terms of like beer itself, what are you looking at capacity-wise? Tell us some of the
It's a 6-barrel kit. A British barrel is 163.6 litres. It's our historical reason. Something to do with metric and imperial, I imagine. I don't know. It's a weird number. It's a 6-barrel system, but in easy terms, that's 1,000 litres, or about 2,000 pounds on everything. We've got 3 fermenters, so we're always limited by how many fermenters we have. So every time you brew, they're taken up for about 10 days. So we can brew about twice a week, because you brew Monday, Thursday, Monday, and the one you brew the first Monday, the fermenter should be free again by the following Thursday. So based on that, we should be able to produce, once we're up and running, about 100,000 litres of beer a year.
Wow. So what are your hopes in terms of the future? Obviously you've just settled here, so what are you hoping to achieve going forwards?
We've got our short-term goals, haven't we? Which is to get up to capacity on this kit.
Yeah.
Hopefully producing twice weekly and selling it all, and having people knocking at the door for more. That's the kind of 9 to 12 month goal. 1 to 3 years, we really want to establish ourselves in the region, in Coventry and the wider area as a kind of well-known craft/real ale provider. And that will probably entail, if we're successful, moving up to a kit about 3 times the size of this, because a regional brewery really is more about 15-20 barrels rather than 5 or 6. But we always want to keep the Fargo site, because we see it as hopefully being an integral part of Coventry culture going forward. We've got a homebrew club that we're setting up, where we want to encourage the next generation of homebrewers to make that step up as well. We firmly believe that competition brings quality, so we want to help to create a beer scene in Coventry similar to what's going on in London, Cardiff, Brighton, Liverpool, everywhere else in the country really. So we really want to drive that forward through the homebrew side of things. And we're also very keen to talk to local universities and see if there's a possibility, this is like the 5 to 10 year strategy, of having this place retained as somewhere for students to learn how to make beer and sell beer in the same place, in coordination with getting an education in brewing, because there's only 2 places in the country you can get an education in brewing, and they're in Edinburgh and Sunderland, and they're really far away. So there's this big gaping hole in the middle of the country where you can't get a formal education in brewing, and that's a travesty really at the end of the day. It's a very hands-on job, but obviously going and formally learning a trade before you start is very invaluable. So that's our kind of long-term goal, is to establish kind of Coventry as a little bit of a beer centre in the Midlands, hopefully increase the brewing capital in the Midlands, get more breweries started up, and ourselves just to establish as a regional provider. We don't really want to get any bigger than that, do we? It's kind of our aspiration to get to a certain size and be happy at that.
Right, do you want to give everybody a last little plug before we go and show people down?
Yeah, certainly.
It was very good feedback.
excellent.
Well, saying that Kimberly was framing the shots very well. It's not Kimberly. It's me.
Thanks, Matt, anyway. Thanks.
If anyone's watching, just encourage you to come down and try our beers, really. We're open Friday 5 till 12, Saturday 12 till 12, Sunday 12 till 5 every week. So you've got plenty of opportunity to get down here, check out ourselves as well as the wider Fargo village area as well, because there's loads of fantastic businesses here.
Yeah, you need to show them what the bar looks like now, Craig. Show them what the bar.
Hello from the USA. There you go, people. Right, bye-bye.
Yeah, good job.
About 12 people came on.